Yeah. So how's everybody doing today? We are officially live for the Out of the Cave Media Almost Daily Show. What episode is this, Dave? Like 9,000?
Episode almost 9,000. We're killing it. Episode 22.
Yeah, but we are on level 9,000.
Level 9,000.
For real, though, I always say.
22.
I don't know how to do 9,000 in fingers. It's like, just do this.
Fast.
For 20, spirit fingers.
Yeah, keep going. A little bit longer.
Yeah. So today we've got Jeremiah on here. He's a champion, and we like to bring champions on the podcast. So here we are. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jeremiah.
Thanks for having me, you guys. I work here at Infusionsoft. I'm one of our elite partner managers, and I have the pleasure of working with Dave and Chandler and Out of the Cave Media. They're one of my top teams. We do a lot of excellent things for the fitness space with email marketing, follow-up marketing, CRM, lead capture, social media. So I'm thrilled to hang with you guys for a bit here and rock.
Yeah, we're pumped to have you on. We have little meetings every Monday with Jeremiah, and we just popped it on today, and we were like, hey, you're going to be on the Almost Daily show today because it's really been almost daily lately since I've been traveling.
Yeah, last week
been hustling.
Yeah, life is about the hustle.
That's right. So
Indeed.
I've been actually looking forward to this interview. Everybody out there knows that we're Infusionsoft partners, and we build a nurture system around Infusionsoft. And we all talk about, it's because it's a professional software and we have huge support on the back end, and he needs our support. So we figured we'd bring you on and talk about, I guess, give us a surface overview. Why would somebody want a lead nurture system like Infusionsoft?
Well, I always put it back on what truly is lifecycle marketing. It's the reason that I was attracted to come work here 5 years ago. It's actually my anniversary last week. So, what was attracting was obviously the clean software. I had implemented CRM before, and I'd always use an autoresponder to go with that CRM. And this was different because it was a CRM with the autoresponder, but automation, right, already included. And it wasn't an autoresponder, it was automation. And I had to learn a little bit more about what that technically was. But lifecycle marketing, if you're attracting people to your business and you're not capturing that interest, let alone a customer, you're really missing out. We want to grow your list because when you have predictable lead gen, you've got predictable ROI through your model. And that was really exciting for me to be a part of early on. And it's still something that I'm passionate about 5 years later.
I think that's a good point that you talk about. And we talk about this a lot together all the time. It's all about playing the long-term game and understanding what we're building out as a solution for someone to be successful, not just like tomorrow, but like 6, 12, 18 months from now, and something that's going to be able to grow with them as they grow. I think we get too much involved in the how can I fix my stuff tomorrow versus how can I build out a truly robust system that's going to allow me to grow and get bigger, and it's going to grow with me.
Without question, that's well said. And it's about processes. And technically, I mean, science has studied the buyer, the consumer. They want to be led. And if you can lead them through your process, whether that's an email automation, I'll lead you that way, or it includes a sales call or a customer service call at some juncture. Buyers want to be led. You've got to lead.
Exactly. That's another good point right there. It's a lot of people think it's a super complicated solution that has to happen in getting people to do things. But in reality, it's build a relationship and then ask them to do it. Tell them where you want them to go, and they're going to go there and they're going to do it, especially if they trust you enough to actually feel comfortable with you.
Yeah, you have their best interest. Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. And if you always have their best interest in mind, you put out good stuff like the Almost Daily Show, which is the greatest podcast in the history of the world. People tend to feel more attracted to your brand and your company, and like our adorable mascot, Larry. Everybody wants a t-shirt of Larry because he's incredible.
I'm still waiting for my shirt. And you guys got to get one of these too, by the way.
Ooh.
But I think you're onto something there, because when we don't do the basics really, really well, and when it comes time for the conversion and we haven't followed up enough, or we don't really know who they are, to that degree that we need to, that conversion is much harder to achieve.
Exactly. That's the difference between like what people talk about when they talk about converting cold leads versus converting people who are warmed up. And all that means is a cold person is someone who you haven't taken the time to build a relationship with or ever cared about, versus a warm lead where you've actually taken the time to build up that trust with them and get them to a point to where they actually want to work with you. And it's not a sales process. It's a process of, now are you ready to do this? Because we're ready to have you.
I love it. Yeah. It's an experience, really. We want to create that experience.
So
exactly.
Let's talk about, the difference between some basic level nurture systems and then moving into something like Infusionsoft. As far as like I guess like smart decision making that can happen based on, we're talking about, making sure you can lead people in the right direction and get them, I guess seeing things in a certain progression, right? So what does Infusionsoft do that a lot of the other softwares don't, as far as just like, we call it tagging and stuff, but as far as like, decision making and putting people in the right funnels and seeing the right information?
Well, I think the one, Dave, because you asked a big, strong question there, you've got to segment your leads as they're joining your funnel or your funnels, so to speak. So we need to know who's who in the mix. You guys are pretty niche with your focus with fitness, CrossFit athletes, gyms. Some others are struggling with the way that they focus on their target. So one, we want to help customers very targeted with who they serve. And then as those leads come in, we want to segment those leads. It could be a single mother that wants kickboxing classes and does a half membership, not a full membership. So in what you had said, a tag, we might tag some of those things so we know exactly what's up in the mix. Because now she goes in the single mother campaign that says, here's how you train with us, single mom.
Right.
Join our other moms.
6 months in, a year in, 2 years into, maybe she hasn't converted to a member yet, but she's in the system. The thing I like about Infusionsoft is it allows us to, I guess kind of anticipate, right? And send things at the right time to the right people, right? Like
a plan for now, a plan for later.
Right. Exactly.
It's something that it took me a long time to figure this out from a sales perspective. It was always, for me, ABC, old school stuff. And, it was a numbers game, right? Like, if I need 5 people to buy something from me today, it's pretty simple, right? I just need to go talk to 100 people and it's done, right? And I get the sales that I need for the day. And then it hit me from being in the fitness world eventually that, somebody comes in that you talked to 3 years ago and they say something, like I saw a video and it just hit me today. Or, I decided today that I was finally going to get into shape and your email came across my email.
Now a plan for later.
Right? So it was like, and then you realize it's like, it's not about ABC. If you're building relationships, it's just about making sure that you're always talking to people and communicating. And if you have a large enough network, right, that you're communicating with, a small percentage of them you'll happen to hit this week, where it's their decision making this week. And yes, I'm in. That doesn't mean everybody else is an automatic no. That just means it's not right for them at this time, especially if you have a really strong product that everybody needs, right?
Well, a plan for now and a plan for later. I mean, if you went into, I don't know how many gyms that you guys that are working with, that you probably see that they have a plan for now, right? And that's why you're there and your solution works for them, because that plan for later is lacking. And I mean, so many people are worried about payroll or, having enough at the end of the month to do X, Y, and Z with their business. It's like, we don't have to worry like that anymore because we have that plan for later and we have the ability to convert people that are interested and that are in the funnel still.
Yeah, that's huge. And when you have that built out for someone, it gets away from how am I going to survive tomorrow because I don't know what I'm doing right now, and turns into, hey, we've got a plan of action set up for you tomorrow. We've got one set up for you 60 days, 90 days, 1 year out, and we're going to hit those targets. We're going to pivot shift if we need to, but at least we have a plan of action and we've tactically planned to be able to actually bring your people in when they're ready and have your sales and marketing funnel outlined and defined, and then look at what percentages of people are moving through and why they're not moving through and who's happy, who's not, how they're reacting and responding to what we're putting out. And so there's a lot that goes into it, but once you get it all set up, it's a pretty robust system, and it's a really neat setup in that you get businesses organized in the way that they need to be organized, because a lot don't have that organizational potential behind them.
Well, no, Chandler, that's awesome. And Dave, to answer your question, it's that Infusionsoft really forces you to make you get your business in a better spot holistically. You're better with your target. You're better with the attack plan, and you've got that plan for conversion today, but then you've got that plan for the people that aren't ready for you. Usually those people go in the waste bucket and we forget about them completely. But now we've got a process to keep those people engaged, to keep that education happening so they're not fearful and that brain shutting off going, it's too much here, I'm not going to make a decision, or I'm going to go with another option. And you guys are right on. It's top of mind. A lot of the primitive platforms, the autoresponders, aren't doing that. Infusionsoft gives you the if-then scenarios.
I think this actually brings me to my next question, because I was going to address it as the elephant in the room is, we hear it a lot is, Infusionsoft, or they call it Confusionsoft. And you go, no, like, why do you think that? But really, like when you said, like some of the primitive platforms, it allowed me to, I guess, really understand it. It's when you get into something like Infusionsoft, this is for people that are serious about their long-term business. And like anything else, it's work and it takes time to get up to speed on it. And it's not primitive software. It's actual robust, real business software. And so I think that's why like you end up with like a company like Out of the Cave, where, we basically have people that end up, it's like they're on your team. And they're the ones that do the heavy lifting on the system to make sure it continues to be robust and do what it needs to do long term. And then inside your business, you can be the decision maker and the driver of the whole thing. And the primitive systems,
spot on.
They're not. I mean, it's super simple, right? It's meant so that if you're running your business and you have no time for something, and you need to just get some quick drip stuff out, you can throw it together real fast. But that doesn't make it a long-term plan. That makes it just a quick drip system.
Exactly. Well,
that's a good point.
It is. And I would, if I had $1 for everybody that called me back and said, Jer, thank you, Infusionsoft really made me get my shit together with my business, I would be really, really wealthy. And that's the choice. I mean, a lot of people can stay primitive and keep plugging around, go to day, week to week, or you could get a little bit more advanced, right? Build the right foundation for your business. It's almost like building a house. You don't want to build a weak foundation because your house is going to crumble, or you're not going to be able to sell it. You're going to be stuck in it forever, right? You want to build a great foundation that you can grow your business upon, and maybe sell your business, sell your system, because your business is healthy and holistic. You've got it together.
Yeah, that's huge, and that's one of the biggest things that differentiates a system like Infusionsoft from a lot of the simple systems like MailChimp and some of the other stuff is
primitive.
We can set up those decisions. Primitive.
Yes.
Out of the cave.
Get out of the cave.
Yeah. Get out of the cave. Born primitive. But that's it. And people can come into the solution. What they do right now isn't something that was set up that they needed to do. So they go one route or they go another route, but it manages them through their whole life cycle. And that's why they call it lifecycle marketing, because you have to look at it from the big picture and say, what happens when they come into my solution? And then what happens if they become a client? What happens if they don't? What happens if they're indifferent? What happens when they become a client if they cancel, or if they stick around 90 days from now? What do we do? So that way we have the entire life cycle set up, and no matter what happens, there's always something established and built around what they need and what decisions they make. And then if they make decisions that you didn't anticipate, you build another solution into what you already have that moves that new decision. And so it's always growing and evolving as you move forward with your clients.
Analyzing and adjusting, right? And that's right. The primitive systems don't allow you to do either. So you always wanted to make sure that you can, you create a campaign, you launch it. That doesn't mean it's done, right? It's something you need to analyze, come back at. If you're getting 20 to 30% open rates, which we've kind of been talking about this a lot recently, is, it's not a 10 years ago where it was like 100% open rate on emails. Things have changed, right? But that doesn't make email-based nurture systems obsolete, because you're still getting, right, 20, 30% of everybody's actually, that's how they communicate, and that's where they're going to find you. So you need to make sure that you're addressing them where they're at. Some people are social media. Some people, it just depends on where they're at that you're going to address them.
One of my favorite customers, you guys, they're in England, and they do this like adventure tours and travel, and they'll take you down whitewater rafting trips, and there's actually a little surf spot that they take their clients to, and a bunch of hiking and cool stuff. But he basically said, Jared, what it's like for us before we were on Infusionsoft, we could only take the raft down one part of the stream. But all of the customers wanted to take these other tributaries and kind of veer off and do some other things with us. But we were only able to go that far with them. Now with Infusionsoft, we can go wherever they want to go and follow them and be their guide still.
Right.
And I thought that was an incredible way to look at it. And I think, some businesses need that ability to have a little bit more power and girth, if you will, in their system. But some businesses, need that primitive stuff, and it works just fine. But, teams like you, and that's why I love my job, is because I get to work with partners like you that go out and help people understand that. And go, hey, you guys aren't ready for Infusionsoft yet. You're good here. Let's hunker down and do these things real well, and then you're going to be ready for Infusionsoft and a little bit more of that power.
Yeah, exactly. But we found that if you need to have that person in your court that helps you build and do certain things. I couldn't imagine, myself in my business without the help running something like Infusionsoft, because you just got to become an expert at it, and who has time for that? So it's powerful, but
work with the expert. Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, you work with an expert, you get the most out of it, and then you can focus on doing what you do well, which is your business and delivering your product and your services.
Wowing your customers, totally.
Right.
Yep.
That's right. So it's been a good episode, guys.
Great episode.
The Almost Daily Show, episode 9,000.
Right. Or 22.
Or 22.
Power level 9,000 over here.
That's right. 100%. Grade A. Awesome.
Thanks, guys. It's fun.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks for being on with us.
No problem. We'll do it again. I'm going to run.
Absolutely.
I'll see you guys in Vegas for our mastermind.
All right, later.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hear us talk, it's going to be August 18th in Vegas. So if you're down there, we're going to be doing something there. We might do a couple of meetups with people in the area as well. Anyway, it's been fun. It's been real.
So real.
And it's been real fun. Until tomorrow, maybe. We'll be back. See ya.